Day 5 on our Europe trip, and today we spent the day a little bit in Salzburg, Austria, and a little bit in Innsbruck, and it was absolutely gorgeous. We saw castles, drank amazing beer, saw beautiful churches, and had a spa day, all in one. It was probably my favorite day of the trip. First, we went to a beautiful castle, and this is actually where The Sound of Music was filmed. And we just walked around. It was gorgeous. The architecture was amazing. The garden and the landscaping was absolutely beautiful. We took a moment and we just tried to catch up with our friends who we met up with in Germany, and we had such a good time with them. And we grabbed some coffee earlier this morning and some pastries, and Michael had like a cinnamon roll and a couple other things. I had a croissant that was amazing.
Schloss Mirabell. Schloss.
We're at Schloss Mirabell Castle. It's very beautiful. We're in not the main garden, but a very pretty garden. There is a Pegasus. And we got coffee and croissants. So it's basically a perfect Sunday morning. Thanks God. And parking was free.
After we went to the mini garden, we went to the main garden, and you can see that Salzburg is the city that The Sound of Music was filmed in, because there were so many historic landmarks. If you remember some of those parts of the movie, it almost made me want to go back and rewatch The Sound of Music. Even just the way that the trees are, the hills, the castles, everything. It was amazing. Schloss Innsbruck Castle, I think was the name of this one. And like I said, it was beautiful and we really had a good time. And after this, we kind of took a stroll around I guess what you would call riverbank, but it looks like it's just colorful houses all along the river. And walking out of Schloss Innsbruck Castle, you kind of walk into the city a little bit, and then you see a fountain. And then you kind of cross the bridge, and that's when you see these wonderful houses. And everything about Salzburg was beautiful. It was honestly a really magical town. And they say if you're in Munich to take a day trip to Salzburg, and I highly recommend. Nothing really worked out, as you'll see in my last vlog in Munich, but we had a lot of really good sights in Salzburg. You also see the little locks on the bridge, which were super adorable. And after we stood on the bridge and took it all in, we started walking back to the car because we wanted to head to another castle in right outside of Innsbruck, Austria. And we were going to stay in Innsbruck, Austria for 2 days. And so this was kind of our drive in. We knew that this castle was a landmark. We didn't end up going inside, but you could see a lot of this castle without even going inside. You could walk all around the grounds. We even walked up a hilltop and got to see an overview of it. We also saw a peacock, which was absolutely crazy. I was not at all expecting to see a peacock. I don't even think I've ever seen one in real life. It was beautiful. You also could see all of the mountains, and that was exciting because we were planning on skiing, but that's when we ended up taking a spa day. And definitely don't regret the spa day because we needed a day to just kind of hang out. But the slopes were absolutely beautiful, and honestly, I would love to come back and to ski here because I think it would be a really cool town to ski in. Everyone kind of rides around with their backpacks and with their skis sticking out. We ended up staying at Hotel Das Innsbruck, and it was a spa hotel. And so the spa was included, and that was honestly one of the best amenities. Michael and I ended up taking an entire day literally just to swim in what they called the golden pool. And we ended up eating really incredible food while in Innsbruck. This town itself is really small, so you can kind of walk around the entire thing. We went in and had beer at this one place. Eleanor and John are so cute. And the view all the way across was gorgeous. There was a really pretty church that we saw here shortly after we arrived, and it was breathtaking. It was almost like the one in Munich, honestly, is what it reminded me of. But the thing that I loved most about Austria and Innsbruck specifically was the way that you could see the entire mountain, snow-capped mountains through the walking through the streets of it. And that was definitely a highlight of the entire trip. We ended up making a late night McDonald's run one of the nights because we were starving after all of the walking that we did. after all of the walking, we went to the church again because it was just so beautiful. It was too beautiful not to see, honestly. And we ended up trying, after we saw the church, to go to a rooftop bar, but since it was Sunday, it was closed. And so we ended up going the next day after our kind of like spa day-ish. And it was a beautiful view as well. I don't know if I included one in our clips, but highly recommend if you're going to Innsbruck, check out this 360 Innsbruck Sky Bar, 10 out of 10. This is the inside of one of the churches. We ended up seeing two different ones. They were gorgeous. Honestly, the Catholics know how to build some churches. They are all immaculate. The architecture inside of them is stunning. And right after this, we all were starving. So the beer, cheese, and pretzels that we had, along with our steins, did not fill us up. So we went to another bar after failing to get into the 360 bar and just had some snacks and apps after the church. And we were waiting for this one place to open up so we could eat there. And we ended up going to another church after that bar just to wait and kind of wait for the other bar to open up, essentially. You do a lot of waiting. There's only a certain time that everything is open in Europe, and if you don't hit that time slot perfectly, you're going to be waiting. That's what we learned on this trip. But seriously, there were two beautiful churches in Innsbruck, amazing food, amazing bars, and all around, I would say that this was my favorite spot. The churches with the food paired along with our spa day. It was a really beautiful spot. This is the golden pool I was referring to earlier. And then this is the pasta that we had that night. It was amazing. See you guys later.